Welcome back to Open. You're watching Bronxnet Interactive Talk Show. The numbers are on the screen, so feel free to call in at any time and join in our discussion. Joining us now to tell us about her radio program and how you can tune into your heart is radio presenter Melanie Brock. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's great to be here.
So can you tell me a little bit, you're coming from Barbados and you just got off the plane
in the last couple of days.
So tell me a little bit about Barbados, the environment.
Well, Barbados is a beautiful island. Unlike the other islands in the Caribbean, we are a coral island. The others are volcanic, which makes it very special because our beaches are full of white sand. I don't think there's ever a day that goes by that I don't look at the sea in awe, because the beaches and the sand and just the water is just very beautiful. It's a very small island. It's 13 miles by 21 miles, and we have just over 280,000 people living on the island. Our main industry is tourism. I've been living there now for just over 12 years. I am not originally from Barbados.
Where are you originally from?
Well, it's kind of interesting. My father is English. My mother is from Malaysia.
Okay.
I was born in England. However, I grew up in Germany.
So you've been all around.
And I've also lived in Scotland as well. So.
Well, you have your radio program now in Barbados.
Yes.
And it is #1 in your time slot.
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about your the station that you work for.
Well, I work with Starcom Network. It is, we have 4 different stations. I work on Love FM. Okay. And I have been with the company now for just over 3.5 years.
Tell me about Love FM.
Love FM is a station that is more about emotion. We are predominantly a music station, and we play a lot of love music, a lot of 80s, some current stuff as well. But I certainly work all what I would call the loving hours.
So tell me about the loving hours. And you do get call-ins at times.
I do. For the most part, everything is generally off-air.
Okay.
However, I do have the opportunity to interview different people in the station, mostly local artists. However, I have sat in with an interview with Neo as well before, so that was fun. It's a 5-hour show, 5 nights a week.
Wow.
So that's my full-time job.
What time do you start and what time are you done?
I work from 8 p.m. until 1 a.m., Monday to Friday night. And
about how many different callers do you get it each night?
Bratty, the phone just rings non-stop. I physically cannot keep up with it, to be honest. Unlike many stations that you would maybe find in the US or the UK, I am not just the voice. I actually operate the entire show. So I'm monitoring the board, I'm selecting the music, speaking, of course. I'm also answering the telephone and email requests. So
you're one woman that's doing it all
everything
during that time slot.
Yeah.
Well, you've been in radio for how long?
Just over 3.5 years now.
And your experience being in radio, you know, and we're here on a TV program. How different is that for you?
Well, it is different. I guess for me, and certainly the hours that I work, I mean, at that time of night, the radio station is very quiet in regard of the amount of people that would be around.
Okay.
And when you sit in a studio on radio, you are often alone. So I am alone there for 5 hours. So it is very different because obviously there's a whole team of people working here. A lot of the production I do myself as well for the show, a lot of research. The first 2 hours of my show, I do a special feature called Time Warps. Okay. So I feature a particular year each night, and I will play music from that year, and I will talk about history, talk about top movies, top music, just things of interest that may have happened that year.
So even though radio and TV may be so different, it's similar in the way that we're both trying to tell a story to our audience. Yes. You know, we're trying to attract more people to either listen to us or watch us. And what's the message that your station is sending out to its listeners?
Well, I know that I have a request segment. I have a 3-hour request segment that is enjoyed very, very much. And as I said, it's a station that's about emotion. I think that it often reinforces and reminds us that real love does really exist. Yeah.
How did you happen to get into radio?
It is a story whereby it really did happen by accident. I have quite a diverse background with other things that I've done. I'm very successful with sales and marketing. I've worked as a personal assistant. I'm bilingual. I speak German, having lived there for many years. I think I was just at a point in my life whereby not everybody experiences it, but some people do. I just felt like I needed a change. I wanted to move on, but wasn't really sure
What
to be.
you need-
No, I didn't have
what
any
you
idea.
needed to go into.
So I decided to look back 6 months and look at key people that I had met over the 6 months, and decided to just send out resumes and make calls and see what happened. I basically asked for a meeting with the CEO of Starcom Network and was able to meet with him, and we talked at length. Then he asked me what job I was possibly looking to do there.
Did you know?
Well, I actually said to him, because I have some experience in accounting as well, I said, well, I thought maybe you'd have something in the accounting department or as a PA or something. And he just kind of looked at me, and I thought, that's a bit of a strange look. And he smiled, and I thought, what's that smile for? And he said, I've just been listening to you speak. And I thought, okay. And he said, you have a very warm voice for the radio. And I just remember thinking, really? No,
That was your step in that opened up the door?
did. And I remember my response then was, well, where do I need to go? What do I need to study? What should I do? Because I thought, that's different. And I was basically told not to worry about it, and was actually trained there at Starcom Network.
So anyone who wants to find out more about your radio program or about the station, they can check out all the information that we have up on our screens. And the website is www.love1041.com, or if they want to contact you, Melanie Brock, they can email you, melanie@love1041.com, or the studio number, which is not in New York, it's in Barbados, is 246-434-5683. How often do you come here in the Bronx?
Well, I try to make it certainly to New York, maybe 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I'd just also like to point out that my show does stream online, and I do have listeners from all around the world. So, I mean, that's been very interesting. People that I have met in person, maybe on a flight from wherever, but Romania, Japan, sincerely all over the world that will actually listen to the show.
And what's the main message that you're sending out right now to our Bronx community as well as to everyone?
I believe that deep inside of us, we all have our special gifts and our talents. And it is really up to us to try and find whatever that may be and just develop it. Because often in life, the only person that prevents us from moving forward and accomplishing something is ourselves.
Melanie Brock, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure having you on our open show. When we return, it's another poem just for all of you at home. And he's the real Silverlight, and he's joining us right here in our open studio. See you in a bit.